Okay, I'm ready.
Just 1 second, Maharaj.
Yep. Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today we're hearing from Bhagavad Gita as it is by the divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 11, text 39. And this verse says, Vayu Yamo Agnir Varuna Sasanka Prajapati Swam Prapita Mahascha Namo Namaste Stu Sahasra Kritva Punas Cha Uyo Pi Namo Namaste. And the verse says, O Krishna, you are air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are wood, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature. And you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 and again and yet again. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Lord is addressed here as air because the air is the most important representation of all the demigods, being all pervasive. Arjuna also addresses Krishna as the great grandfather because he is the father of Brahma, the first living creature in the universe. Text number 40. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Out of loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he, meaning Krishna, is the master of all potencies and all prowesses, meaning all power, far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana 1.9.69, Yo yam ta vagato deva samipam devata gana sattvam eva jagat strasta yata sarvagato bhavan. Whoever comes before you, he to be a demigod, is created by you. O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 41 and 42. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together. sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form. Although Krishna explained it as his although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend, Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "O my friend, O Krishna, O Yadava," etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten. As we can see from the behavior of Arjuna, although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. Text 43. So we're on chapter 11, text 43. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvam asya puja chagurur gariyan natvat samosti avyadika kuto nyo lokatraye pi apratima prabhava. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Skip the page. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting, in other words, making fun as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form. Although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend, Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "Oh, my friend, oh Krishna, oh Yadava," etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. Text number 43. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvam asya puja cha gurur gariyam, natwat samosi, adyadika kuto nyo, lokatraye pi apratima prabhava. You are the Father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds? O Lord of immeasurable power. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is worshipable as a father is worshipable for his son. He is the Supreme Master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma. And presently, he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master. And any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in the Sritasvatara Upanishad 6.8, Natasya karyam karnam cha vidyate, natat samasya vyadikas cha drishyate. The Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like the ordinary man, but for him there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons who do not know perfectly know him say that Krishna is different from his soul, body, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute, therefore his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore, his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him, no one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality are all transcendental. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo veti tatvata, tyakvadeham punarjanma, naitimam eti so Arjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activities, and perfection after quitting his body returns to him and does not come back again to this miserable world. Wow, wonderful words. Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo veti tatvata tatvadeham punarjanma, naiti mam eti su Arjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activities, and perfection after quitting his body returns to him and does not come back again to this miserable world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from ours. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna. That will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna. Everyone is a servant. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 5.142 confirms, Ekali Ishwara Krishna Ara Sabha Britya. Only Krishna is God, and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. Well, he can't say more than that. It's very clear that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to him. No one is greater than him. Everyone is subordinate to him. Text 44. Tasmat pranamya pranidaya khayam. Prasadaye tvam aham isham idyam. Piteva putrasya sakyeva sakyu. Priya yarhase deva sodam. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend, the impertinence of a friend, or a wife, the familiarity of a partner, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. Purport. Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship, as the father tolerates, or the husband or the master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. Text 45. Ajistapurvam Risito Smi Dristva Vayena Cha Pav Yatitam Manome Tadeva Me Darshaya Eva Rupam Prasiddha Devesa Jagan Nivasa. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. This is Arjuna speaking. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. So Arjuna is saying that seeing the universal form of Krishna is disturbing his mind. So he's asking Krishna to go back to his human form, human-like form. Purport. Arjuna is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend. And as a dear friend is gladdened by his friend's opulence. Arjuna is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and can show such a wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus, his mind is disturbed out of fear, although he has no reason to fear. Arjuna, therefore, is asking Krishna to show his Narayana form, because he can assume any form. This universal form is this universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planets, he has his transcendental form with 4 hands as Narayan. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestations of different names. Thus, Arjuna desired to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayana is 4-handed, but the 4 hands hold different arrangements of symbols: the conch shell, the mace, the lotus, and disc. According to the different hands, these 4 things are held in. The Narayanas are variously named. All of these forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his four-handed feature. Text 46. Kirtinam gadinam chakrahastam ichami tvam drastum aham tataiva tenaiva rupena chatur bhujena sahasrabaho bhava vishvamurye. O universal form, O thousand-armed Krishna, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In the Brahma Samhita, 539, it is stated, Brahmadi Murti Sukhala Niyamena Tistam. The Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms, and the main forms are those like Rama, Nishinga, Narayana, etc. There are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is fresh, like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination of the material world. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita Grantaraj Ki Jai. All glories to Bhagavad Gita as it is. So we'll stop right there. Our time is over. I think. Is that right?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Yeah. And are there any questions anyone has? Any questions?
Hi, Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Yes, Haribol. Yes, when Krishna was trying to stop the war between the Pandavas and Kauravas, he apparently he was trying to explain the outcome of the war to Duryodhan, and he apparently showed the universal form to him too. But he still thought, he didn't believe it, and he thought that Krishna is just a magician and just doing his magic. Can you elaborate on that, if you, please? Thanks.
Well, Krishna has all powers. No one can emulate him. But he does not always manifest those powers. Only when in the company of his pure devotees does he manifest those powers. Why is that? Well, first of all, if he shows the universal form, it scares him. And so therefore he will only show it if one of his pure devotees asks him to do it. So Arjuna did not really want to see the universal form. The only reason Krishna showed the universal form was because Arjuna wanted him to show that form so that when nonsense people claim to be God, they would have to also show that form of Virat Rupa. And if they can't, then they're nonsense. So obviously, Krishna knew that in the future there would be many people claiming to be God, but without the power of God. So therefore, that's why he's showing the universal form to Arjuna. So in this verse today, in the purport, it says, this verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions. In other words, he has plenary expansions, many, many different expansions, but they're all Krishna. They might not all look like Krishna, but they are all Krishna. And he is God in any of his innumerable forms. There it is, right there. He has innumerable forms, but in every one of his innumerable forms, he is always, what you would say, full of his potencies. None of his forms are lacking in potencies because Krishna's forms are one. In all of these forms, he is fresh like a young man. That's another important point. Krishna never gets old. That's another proof that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, he's eternally like a young boy, very fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once of all contamination of the material world. So this is giving us knowledge of who God actually is. Now, just for our, let's say, edification, the Muslims and the Christians also, mainly the Christians, they make paintings of God. So if you go to the what is that called? Anyway, if you go to the place where the Christians manifest their knowledge of God, you will see that their portrayal of God is an old man with gray hair. Of course, very powerful, but they represent God with some wrinkles and some gray hair. And so that means that they don't know who God is. Krishna never gets old. He never has gray hair. He always has beautiful black hair. So that means that the spiritual masters of the Christians do not have bona fide knowledge of who God is and what he looks like. Why? Because that information is not in the Bible. If it was in the Bible, they would know what God actually looks like Krishna actually looks like. Now, they do make representations of Jesus, but Jesus is not the Supreme Personality of God. He's the Son of Krishna. Now, some Christians say, no, he's the Son and the Father. Right? But no. So when they make the representation of God the Father, he's usually an old man. He's a very powerful old man, but he's an old man. So that means they don't understand who God actually is, who Krishna is. Now, and why? Because they don't, that information is not in not in the Bhagavad Gita, not in the Bible. People know something about Jesus because he walked the earth and he manifested himself. But no Christian has ever actually seen God. But they make images of God. Now, the Muslims, they think that they don't have any knowledge at all of what God looks like. So they don't try to represent him in any way. Why? Because that information is not in the Quran, so they don't know. And they're not going to speculate either. In Christianity, we do know about Jesus. And Jesus is the Son of God. So obviously, there's got to be some semblance of God and his Son Jesus. But no one's ever actually seen God. And there's no specific information of what God looks like, even in the Bible. We have Jesus, but Jesus is not the supreme personality of God, he's the Son of God. Okay, so therefore, this verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is fresh like a young man. He is fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination of the material world. So whenever you see a painting of God in Christianity, he appears as an old man, or at least he appears with gray hair and furrows in his face. So he's not. Why? Because the Christians don't really have bona fide knowledge about God. But in Krishna consciousness, we know that Krishna never gets old. God never gets old. But the Christians don't understand that. So when they represent God, they present him as an old man. Is that right? Yeah. All right. That's because they don't have a bona fide, what you would call parampara. Fortunately, we do have a bona fide parampara, and therefore we know a lot about who Krishna is and what he likes, what he doesn't like, and therefore we are blessed with knowledge of who Krishna actually is. Okay, so we will stop right there. Are there any questions? I think we'll do a takeaway for today, then you might think of a question. And it says here, there are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. Arjuna is now asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form with 4 arms, of course. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is fresh, like a young man. He never gets old. When the Christians depict God, it looks like an old man. They don't have that proper knowledge. So, in all of these forms, he is fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination of the material world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, we'll stop on that point. Krishna never gets old. He's always looks like a 16 or 20-year-old young man. And he doesn't have a big beard and gray hair. He's beautiful. He has beautiful curly hair, dark curly hair. And so there is specific information in the Bhagavad Gita of what Krishna looks like. Okay, thank you very much, my dear devotees. I'm going to get ready to go to the temple and chant
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare